So what's the ideal distribution of wealth? Option A. So let me explain what this means, right? So the population, just like this room here, we would divide it into, like, let's say 5 groups. And we take the richest 20% of the people in here, and they're this group right here. Then we take the second richest 20% of the people in this room, and they are this group here. And then, so of all the wealth in a society, which is all of this right here, like what percentage should each group control? Okay, you got that? Does everyone understand what we're talking about? You got it, right? Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, option B. So go back to A. So here, this is about as close to kind of even keel socialism as you're probably going to get. And here, it's like, okay, the rich are getting a little bit more. Again, this is almost 30% of the wealth, right? This changes. All right, next one, option C. Look at this. We did it in, so go back one, bro. So this is B again. Watch how these go to C. See how that happens? And so the richest 20% owns a fair amount. The bottom 20%, the poorest 20% of people in your society are getting poorer. Okay? Or D.
I'm between B and C. I don't know which one though.
You're between B and C?
Yeah. I can't choose between the two.
Uh-huh. So B or C. Bro, how about you?
I think I'm going to go with C.
C, what is it about C?
So in C...
well, hang on, go back to A. Why not A?
Okay, so if the wealth was distributed like that and the top 20% had as much as they have and the bottom 20 had that much, what work would be going on in the country that the bottom 20% earned as much as the wealthy half of the nation? In my opinion, as far as skills and the amount of work you do, that really does influence how much wealth you accumulate.
Bro, how about you?
I would say either B or C. I am leaning a bit more towards C because in the end, I kind of feel how much you put in is how much you should get out in terms of like wealth, because like all of us are putting in an extra 4 to 8 years of studying just to get a better job.
Yeah.
What's the point of doing that if you're barely earning more than someone who skipped all of that? So.
Okay, which one's the actual wealth distribution in the U.S.?
I would say D.
It's D.
C.
You'd say C? You'd say, and the two of you would say D.
Yeah.
If you think it's D, so does that mean you don't want to live here?
No, I mean, I like living here. It's just, ideally, C would be a little bit nicer, I think.
Okay, well here, can you go to the next slide? It is D, by the way. D is the actual distribution of wealth in the United States, okay? So then the question, it would be a little nicer, you say. You said C, so you didn't know D was it. Like, how surprised are you that D is the answer?
Yeah, I didn't think that the bottom 20% didn't have like any.
Uh-huh. And look at top 20%, it's over 80%. I mean, it's close to 85% of all the wealth, right? So that's not inherently a problem. The United States is operating quite well. Most of you are happy here if you're here. I mean, most of it does, right? It's not inherently a problem. Which one is the ideal distribution of income in the country in which you want to live? Okay? You got 2 options here. Take a look at this. Percent of income earned by each group. So the bottom 20% is this. So let's look at, it's a nice little scale. So this is A, or B, this. So look at these numbers change down here. So this is 50% here, top 20%, and so on, right? And go back again. Here, which one would you want to be? The first one or the second one? Where would you want to be?
Second one.
Second one?
Not sure.
How about you?
The second one.
Why the second one?
So the top 20% makes significantly more than the next, middle, next, and then bottom again.
Yeah.
But it also gives you something to really work for, right? Once again, if everyone was paid the same, the issue would be that no one would have the motivation to go out and do more.
But
whereas
they're not paid the same at all, though, be clear.
yeah, that's why this works for me, is that everyone has a reason to try and jump up to the next level.
So you realize you got a lot of poor people here on this one. Go back one, bro. You got a lot less poor people. Like when you have poor people, you got to deal with poor people, right? Like when you have homeless people, when you're walking down the street, you got to, at the very least, if people are sleeping on the sidewalk, you got to step over them. It's like that can get annoying after a while. People panhandling or whatever. I mean, and I'm not making a joke there. It's like you got people, looks like the woman in Baltimore who they just kicked out of the hospital in her gown, and they just took her out to the bus stop in the middle of a cold night and just said, here you go. Like, you got to deal with that. You're driving by, like, holy shit. Like, do you want to see that, right? So it's just a question. So here, you'll see less of that. In the next one, you're going to see more of that.
But you'll see it either way, correct?
Yeah, you're going to see it some way. So this one's Sweden. Sweden's a Scandinavian country, state socialist society, about as close as you're going to get to a socialist society, right? And this one, the next one, is the United States, right? So you both said, you said you'd rather live in the U.S., or you said that because, you said you'd rather live in this one because it gives you more to work toward, right? It's interesting that all of you who lean toward a more conservative perspective, right? Which is, like, you got to be responsible for yourself. I mean, more than before you turn to the state, look to yourself, right? That's the essential idea. It's not about, conservative perspective is not about throwing people out on the street in hospital gowns. You know what I mean? That's not what that is. But it's about, look, first and foremost, look in the mirror and say, what can I do to fix my situation? And yet, this country you want to live in terms of wealth, that none of you said this country. And I think that it really says something about what we know and what we don't know, about the places in which we're living and the ideas we have. And I'm really thinking about the implications of that the wealthiest people control so much of the wealth. It shapes what we are as a nation and what we can be. And it shapes what you all can be, right? Because you're at Penn State, y'all, right? Most of y'all, you're not going to be the CEOs. Like, most of you are not, you're not going to be the millionaires, right? You're not. Some of you will be. But look, some of you are really rich, and some of you come from really rich families, and that's fine. But you might be getting a college education, and maybe you're in SMEAL, or maybe whatever, maybe you're in sociology, but maybe you're in SMEAL and you're in finance. But you know what? There are kids in finance at Harvard and Princeton and MIT and so on who are from really, really wealthy families who are in finance. And they're already getting the internship between high school and college. They've got the internship on Wall Street. You know what I mean? And it's like, so we come here at a place like this and we think like, oh, this is going to even things out. Dude, those dudes, they're way ahead already. So it's like, I want to be in the U.S., right? Because there's more competition here. But the problem is you're already the underdog. Probably. I don't know what your family does. I know, right? But you got it. You're already the underdog. So it's like, why do I want to compete when people have such a big head start?